The first letter you're going to read is not one that was intended for a general audience. This is a case of a restricted audience. It is a letter he wrote home to his family after he was released as a prisoner of war in 1945. The bio video mentioned this briefly, but I do want to show you some images of Dresden to give you an idea of what he had experienced and what he had witnessed. So he was held as a prisoner of war in this German city of Dresden, and Dresden was considered this cultural mecca of Germany. It was like the Paris of Germany at the time. It was this beautiful city with a lot of culture and art and architecture, etc. And it was firebombed during World War II. And this firebombing was devastating. Estimates suggest anywhere between 100,000 to 250,000 people were killed. So these are images of Dresden prior to the firebombings. And this is what Dresden looked like after. So, of course, this in and of itself is horrifying for him to witness. Not only the devastation of the city and the infrastructure, but the mass death that he witnessed after emerging from the meat locker. As well, you have to keep in mind that he was a prisoner of war. So you had this German city that had just experienced atrocity. I mean, it was devastating. You know, many people had died. Their city was burned to the ground, and then they had these prisoners of war who, in a lot of ways, in their mind, represented the people who had done this to them. So, you know, of course, that created even more sort of conflict and psychological trauma for him as he was experiencing this. He was 22 at the time. After you read the letter, I'm going to give you a little bit more information about Dresden and talk about the interesting things to take away from that letter. But pay particular attention to the tone and the uh, how he represents this sort of tragedy and whether he uses emotion or what sort of emotions you sense in it, if any at all.